A woman in her 20s has had COVID-19 symptoms for nearly a month after testing positive for the virus. She shares her most difficult obstacles she has overcome during the battle.
We saw some rain in the overnight hours. I'm tracking your weekend forecast and your barbecue forecast coming up next.
And we verified tonight, is it safe to use a public bathroom during the pandemic?
You don't know how frail you are or how fragile you are until you get it.
It has been 4 weeks since she first tested positive for the coronavirus, and she is still fighting it today. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here for KREM 2 News First at 6. I'm Whitney Ward.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Tonight, we continue to hear more firsthand stories from people who are battling COVID-19. They range in age and medical history, but some are reporting lingering symptoms past the typical time frame of recovery. Those patients are referred to as COVID long haulers. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley spoke with a 26-year-old woman in Central Washington who is still fighting the virus after testing positive a month ago.
Before COVID-19, you would have seen Allie Talmadge working with Richland High School students on their spring musical and performing in Shakespeare plays with several local companies.
That's my whole lifeblood. I love teaching and I love kids.
Not only did the coronavirus put the arts on hold, just last month, it put this 26-year-old's life on hold as well. She has no pre-existing medical conditions, yet on July 25th, she tested positive for COVID-19.
About 24 hours after I noticed the cough started, my taste and smell went out, and it was like night and day.
While self-isolating, her symptoms evolved into a fever, fatigue, and lower back pain, but she never went to the hospital.
My body was definitely flushed and you could feel the fever, but I never went above like 99.8 or something like that. I think that was my highest. So that's another difficult point, is even though they temped me at work that day, and I could work when I first got my symptoms, I didn't have a fever. So I was good to go.
By mid-August, she still had symptoms and tested positive for the virus a second time. Her symptoms have lingered now for about a month. Patients with the same experience refer to themselves as long haulers. Talmadge may fall into that group of people.
The isolation is unreal. And it's almost like everybody else has forgotten about it. So the fact that I got it so late is really frustrating, because it's like people are going out and getting married and doing all these things. and I see it and I'm like, oh my gosh, if you get it, you might have lifelong effects.
Meantime, Talmadge is finding support from a Facebook group of other people fighting the virus. She is even documenting her own battle with the virus on social media, at times begging people to wear masks.
My message would be to take this really seriously, because I would categorize my COVID case as a mild case, but I'm still suffering like 4 weeks later, and it's really hard and really isolating.
Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Let's pause now and talk weather. A warm night around the inland Northwest, a little cooler than it was earlier this week when we had those triple digits. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Tom Sherry for his barbecue forecast. And Tom, what are you grilling up tonight?
Oh my gosh, here we go. We've got grilled tequila steak pizza. Here's the flank steak. Actually, it's really a skirt steak in here marinating right now. And there is actually some tequila in there. Dun, 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 dun. And but it will cook off, ladies and gentlemen. And then we've got like a chipotle that I've made right here with corns and red pepper and a little bit of a cilantro and some lime juice. By the way, the recipe for this is on KREM.com. So it's actually going to be pizza. So we'll put this on the grill, get it all going for you, show it to you later on in the broadcast. In the meantime, we go over here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's grab the official clicker in my pocket. You hear the car horns going off out here, ladies and gentlemen. It's the KREM 2 Outdoor Weather Center. I don't know if my mic can pick that up, but one of the parking lots down the street. Here we go. Temperature-wise, we're at 82 degrees in Spokane. You've also got 82 over in Coeur d'Alene. Temperatures in the upper 70s around Sandpoint. Temps in the low 80s as you get up towards the Kettle Falls area and Omak. And again, we've got temperatures at 89 in Moses Lake and 89 degrees in Othello. So once again, not nearly as warm as what we have been seeing across the area, but certainly, as you would notice, much cooler than what we've seen, like, say, on Sunday and Monday. Here we go. Let's take a look at the day planner forecast. We've got an overnight low of 59. I've got mostly clear, but gosh, the clouds have rolled in. I think more cloud cover spilled in over the Cascades because we're getting rain on the west side of the state. So I do still think we'll see decreasing clouds this evening. And then tomorrow should warm things up to about 89 degrees. Always looking ahead to the weekend. Mostly sunny, cooler on Saturday and 82. And then we'll look for 88 on Sunday with some increasing clouds. Keep in mind, though, that tonight and tomorrow and Saturday, we're going to get gusty winds at times. And, of course, that will make fire danger very, very high with some blowing dust. I'll check your 10-day outlook coming right up.
Thank you, Tom. Looking forward to that.
Sounds good, Tom. Well, Washington is now officially applying for unemployment assistance from the federal government. We're talking about that extra $300 that will be coming from the federal government that the state is going to be applying for everyone who does not have a job from this COVID pandemic, who is still waiting for benefits. So Washington will apply for the Lost Wages Assistance Program through FEMA no later than tomorrow. If it is approved, it will allow the unemployment office to provide those benefits for up to 3 weeks for those who have lost work because of the coronavirus. Earlier this week, Governor Brad Little announced that Idaho will also be applying for these extra benefits because on August 1st, the $600 a week in unemployment benefits, it expired, but through an executive order, President Trump is now offering $300 for supplemental payments. Right now, though, it's unclear exactly how soon unemployed workers could see that extra money in their weekly checks.
Right hand mid 10 times. Dribble a little lower. Nice. Push it a little faster.
The world's largest 3-on-3 basketball tournament is going virtual this year. Usually more than 24,000 people registered for the event this year. That number sits at fewer than 1,000 people. Hoopfest brings in an estimated $50 million to our region. So far, the county has lost more than $21 million in revenue due to event cancellations and loss of travelers. Sports Director Brenna Green has more on today's virtual Hoopfest and how it provided a unique opportunity to one family pretty closely associated with the event.
Normally during Hoopfest weekend, the Santangelo family is pulled in 5 different directions, quite literally because there are 5 of them. I joined them today as they participated in virtual Hoopfest, which of course caused some competition within the family.
Today was so much fun because it's the first time we've ever been able to do Hoopfest like this.
Hoopfest today happened in Matt Santangelo's backyard and a lot of backyards around the inland Northwest, courtesy of the Home Court app, an app that lays out challenges for participants to complete.
Bring your dribble up higher.
The app is really cool, the way that you can stand in front of the camera and it can focus on the ball and see where the ball is and then tell you what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right and how to fix everything.
Luca, did it feel like it was a game? Or did you feel like you were practicing, or did you feel like you were playing a game?
I felt like I was playing a game because about how active it was and how far you had to move to reach some of the targets.
Yeah, it was fun. Usually I'm watching my brothers, but it was fun like doing it and participating in it.
There aren't many moments the Santangelo family is together during the traditional Hoopfest weekend as Dad Matt runs the event and Mom Kathy has to keep track of her 2 boys' team schedules. Next year, she'll add her daughter Stella's schedule as she'll be old enough to play on a team.
Well done.
Today was certainly different for the clan, but there were silver linings to it.
The fact that, we did it as a family, and I went in afterwards and looked at the leaderboards and not that this is competitive, but it's fun to have that something where there's someone's name is going to be on the top of the leaderboard at the end of the day, and we're going to be able to promote that. And I think once you start to see once people see that interaction of like, oh my gosh, I got 100 points on whatever drill, like, oh, I think I can do better, or oh my gosh, so-and-so is ahead of me on the leaderboard. Oh, I think I can do better. Like that kind of interaction is what we've been missing.
I just wanted to beat my sister and my brother.
Dad, how many points did you finish with? I don't remember. A lot.
Competition and Hoopfest is something that is ingrained in the Santangelo's DNA. Although they enjoyed today, they now also have a new appreciation for the physical event and what next year's event could hold.
I'm looking forward to it a lot and to play with my friends.
I missed it a lot this year. That's one of my favorite weekends of the whole year.
And Stella, just how much are you looking forward to being able to compete on an actual team next year in your first Hoopfest?
Yay! A lot.
Virtual Hoopfest goes through Sunday. If you complete all of the drills and competitions, you will receive a coveted Hoopfest champion t-shirt.
Thank you very much, Brenna. In terms of what that t-shirt looks like, it's right here in the wall behind me, kind of an early 90s vibe. I like it. So Matt Santangelo said this year, the world's Hoopfest champion brings a whole new meaning if you complete all the virtual event challenges. Very cool stuff.